Good morning, man. A few days ago, about a week ago, I was reading on, I was on YouTube, right? And I'm interested in giving my opinion over things that happen in Liberia and other African countries because I believe that Africa is connected, and I strongly believe that the way we can solve Africa's problem is for us to work together. But this day, I was on YouTube and came across this video where the chief of staff of the Liberian army was telling the Liberian people that the army was equipped, it was motorized, it was ready to deal with any conflict in Liberia. Well, I agree. Liberian people have been sick of war, and when somebody comes out, especially the chief of staff of the army, comes out and show them that the army is ready to deal with any conflict, and at least it allays the fear, or it supposedly allays the fear. But here's my problem. In 1990, when the Liberian civil crisis started, to be specific, December of 1989, the rebels came through from Libya through Ivory Coast down to Nima County, Boto and Nima County. The first high-profile person to go assess the troop and give President Dole an assessment of the fighting in that area was General Moses Wright. General Moses Wright is known as one of the person who let's say, put down the insurrection, the Aborted coup d'etat in 1990. So my own point here is, at that time, General Wright was invited by Dole on national television, and the television was only limited to people in Monrovia. Moses Wright demonstrated, and everybody that watched the video everybody was impressed with General Wright's presentation, well-dressed, well-spoken guy, about his presentation and the military tactics that they were using in their area to put down the insurrection. But that was early 1990s. What happened at the end of the day? The rebel overran the whole country, and everybody went ahead and scattered. Millions of Liberian refugees went to Ivory Coast, Ghana, and all over the world. But here's the point I'm trying to get at. General Johnson is not the defense minister. He said that he's showing the people, if anybody get in the street to demonstrate or bring confusion or crisis in the country, the AFL is well equipped. They are motorized to quiet that uprising. I agree. But the problem here is General Johnson forgot to know that Liberian crisis didn't end on the battlefront. Though army were equipped, they were motorized, they had tactical gears, they had most of the military hardware you could think about. At the end of the day, they were defeated, or they were not defeated, but they were demobilized, and they retreated to Monrovia where they had out until the war ended. Nobody, Charles Taylor, Prince Johnson, all the people were not able to win on the battlefront. The war in Liberia only ended when Liberians and the international community mounted pressure on them until they went to peace conferences and they formed an interim government, and then they went to elections. Here's the problem. Another problem I have with Prince C. Johnson. I don't know whether he has any relationship with Senator Johnson from Nima County. I don't know. The problem I have with him is not his place to make YouTube videos to ensure the Liberian people that when there's uprising or protest, violent protest in Liberia, the army will come in. Liberian people know that if the police are not able to quell violent protests, I don't say any protest against the government, violent protests, the next tools that the government has in its toolbox is to call on the army to deal with that situation. It is not his role. The chief of staff of the army, wearing his army uniform, cannot get on TV, national TV, to ensure the people that is not his place. And let me just bring it to the United States of America for a few minutes, right? Just a few days ago, I think I wrote a story on that. If you want to see that story, go on ledvmedia.com and you will see that story. I wrote a story on that. In the United States of America, the Joint Chief of Staff, what they did, they gave a statement. They didn't go, the Chief of Staff, or the highest ranking people in the military of the United States of America, they didn't go on YouTube to say they are only going to respect lawful order. They are committed to the peaceful transfer of power. They've been, supporting, they've been defending the Constitution of the United States of America for almost 250 years. They didn't do that. They wrote a statement. And that statement was within the context of President Trump trying to undermine the democratic process when the people of the United States of America have spoken and elected a new president. But in the case of President Johnson, he's saying that if anybody is protesting in Liberia, the army, when they call on the army is not going to be bringing sausages for the people to eat. The army is going to come to deal with them. Well, the army of Liberia is there to protect lives and property when called upon. If people are protesting in Liberia, peacefully protesting in Liberia, there's no need for the army. And he's right. Nobody is anticipating or trying to call on violent protest. That's not what we're after. We, as the Liberian people, are saying that Prince C. Johnson is not a political officer. He's not a political official. The defense minister is a political officer. He can make political speeches. The justice minister can show the Liberian people that the police is capable of taking care of any violent protest. And if the police cannot make it, they can work with the justice ministry, that's the defense ministry, to make sure that they quell violent protests. I'm stressing the word violent protest because constitutionally, the Liberian Constitution guarantees the people of Liberia the right to protest peacefully against government policy or something that they want to protest against. I think that the Army Chief of Staff coming on YouTube, I think KVTV or something, to make such a statement is clearly intended to intimidate the people and to sing from the song sheet of the government of Liberia. The air there is only political. Their role is to remain in barracks, and when the Liberian people are ready or need them, when or if the Liberian people need them, they can call it evil. You don't want to be braggadocious because we had experience in our country of war, and our army was unable to put that war under control. And another thing I say in the piece I wrote on, looking at General Johnson's statement, in the piece that I wrote, I said, look, General Johnson, you should remember there are many powerful armies around the world that were not able to quell insurrections, not because they didn't have the military equipment, but because wars are hard to end. Wars are hard to end. It's easier to stop a war before it starts than to end it when it starts. The Soviet Union, the Great Soviet Union, Soviet Union, went into Afghanistan in 1979. And they left from Afghanistan in 1989 in disgrace. They were not able to defeat the Islamic rebel, the Mujahideen. The Mujahideen. And I know the Army General, President Johnson, knows this fact very well. The world's only remaining peaceful power, the United States of America, after 9/11, September 9/11, went into Afghanistan in October and went after the Islamic rebels, not the Hezbollah, but Taliban's, and you can name the other rebel groups, brought them down. But what happened today? That war is still going, ongoing. What the United States is trying to do now with all the military hardware the United States has, sophisticated military hardware, the best of the best in the world, it's an effort to end that conflict militarily. The United States now is facilitating peace process between the Taliban and the Afghan government. We need to understand, right? We need to understand that Africa or Liberia has been in crisis. The government our country is poor. That's a fact. Our country is poor. Our little resources we got, we don't want to spend it on armed conflicts. And Liberian people are exhausted with war. I can assure anybody right now, we were in Liberia when the war started. We were there until it ended. Liberians are exhausted. They don't want to fight war. They don't want to go to conflict. So when anybody like President Johnson is trying to intimidate the Liberian people to say the army is ready to put down any conflict, if 5 million people in Liberia, which are good man not happy, armless surveillance you get in the street, can the army 10,000 army can they get that? They can. They can. So don't be braggadocious because our experience has shown that our army was not able to quell rebel activities. Our army was unable to quell any rebel activities. Maybe the only one that they succeeded in was when Doe government, Doe army, in 1985, after the October election in November in 1985, when they were able to drive out the rebels under Thomas Koyumba in 1985 after the elections. That's what we know about. But 1989 to 2003, all the fighting just continued to go on all over the country. So when our chief of staff is coming on the radio and try to maybe make the population afraid or ensure them that the army is ready to. Well, we don't need the army right now. We don't need the army. Our people have the right to protest peacefully. If government policies or government is not catering to their needs, they have the right to get in the street. But I continue to say peacefully protest against government policies to draw the government's attention to their plight. Unemployment in Liberia, bad road situation, no public water, no public power, A-run schools, A-run healthcare. The countryside is deserted because everybody going to the Little Monrovia. No job opportunities. River G, Grand Giria, Bapolu. These places are like they are still living in the 1800s. No roads. Roads are terrible. These are the kind of plight our people are going through, and they want to draw the government's attention to these things. I'm just saying about there are many other issues that our people have that they want to draw the government's attention to. But when you start to think that, the people of Liberia, the army is ready to well, I'm impressed with the army, don't get me wrong. I'm impressed with the development of the army. But Prince Johnson, you as the chief of staff, you should know. It's easier to start war than to start war. Because when it starts, it's very difficult to end. We have lived that. We have seen it. Those who were boasting about, they were over to quell the conflict during those times. Most of them were either killed in the war. Most of them were either captured or they defected the rebel or they fled the country. We don't want that. We want the army to stay in the barracks. In the barracks, when the time is appropriate, that we call on them already, we'll be ready to time. Thank you very much for watching. I will do this every time. Thank you.